Derick Giwner along with Matt Rose here to talk about Harrah's Philadelphia for Sunday, May the 29th. They have a huge 15 race card. We're going to focus on most of the stakes races, or at least the bigger stakes races on the card, and a $10,000 guaranteed pick four that starts in race 10 and kicks off with PA Sire Stakes. They're going for a little bit over $60,000 on the card in race number 10 for 3-year-old Philly Pacers. We're going to take a look at the field, and we're going to discuss this race and give it our pick four tickets along the way. And to me, and I think Matt probably feels the same way, this race goes between Nikki Hill and Lion Serenity.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Nikki Hill is she's clearly the headlining filly in this race, making her first start as a 3-year-old off two useful / strong qualifiers, and she is clearly the filly to beat. We saw how powerful she was as a 2-year-old. Starts a 3-year-old campaign, and I think she's going to start off with a bang.
Yeah, I hate to use both favorites, going in. I think Nikki Hill will be the heavy favorite. Nikki Hill will probably be 3-5. Lion Serenity maybe
Right.
about 5-2, 2-1, somewhere in that range. Nikki Hill's a 2-year-old champ. Lion Serenity, you look at those qualifying lines, they look great. I wouldn't expect her to be on the lead here. I think she was only on the lead because those were small fields, and she just wanted to make sure she did her business.
Yeah, sometimes when you're looking at qualifiers, you see a horse on the front end. Like you mentioned, it's just a matter of circumstance that she had to be on the front end there. There really was nobody to chase in those qualifiers. But yeah, it's interesting that we're focusing on the two top horses are focusing on both making their seasonal debuts, coming off a solid 2-year-old campaigns. And like you said, Nikki Hill will be a heavy favorite, regardless of what the posted morning line is. Lion Serenity, I'm kind of with you that there were, I hate to have to maybe use both of them in the pick four ticket, but I am going to use those two. But Nikki Hill is she's clearly the headlining filly here, and I think a lot of people are very anxious to see how she starts her campaign.
It's worth noting that there's a lot of early speed in this race. The 4, 5, 6, and 7 all potentially could leave, and that really does play into the hands of Nikki Hill and Lion Serenity potentially coming off the pace, because I don't think either one of them are going to be used that hard in their first start. But so the early speed really helps them out. We're going to move on to race number 11. It's the $100,000 Betsy Ross, and this is a really strong, tight-knit field. There's no strong favorite in this race as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot of these mares. We saw them knocking heads in the Blue Chip Matchmaker over at Yonkers. Drama Act was the winner of the final. A Nose over Racing Bell. Amazing Dream. Obviously an interesting import. Majorca Easy to Please was a solid contender in the Blue Chip Matchmaker. But yeah, I mean there is no strong favorite. Lion Sentinel, tough spot to make her seasonal debut when most of these horses have already coming into this race, well seasoned with a handful of starts this year. But yeah, I mean, I think the bettors are going to focus mostly towards the inside, Racing Bell and Drama Act, and I'm ultimately going to look inside. I hate to jump on the Drama Act bandwagon now, but because I always think it gets wrong with her. But I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to be zeroing in on.
Yeah, I think Racing Bell is going to take a lot of action, and quite frankly, there's no value there, and she just hasn't been just as right as I'd like her. So to me, she's not a horse that I want to be on. Lion Sentinel, I think, is clearly the best horse in the race, but the Connections MO really isn't to go too hard and fire strong off the bench. So I'm expecting more of a conservative effort this week. I went 2, 3, and 4 here using Drama Act, who I thought, was bad 2 starts back, a little bit better last time. So maybe she's moving in the right direction. Amazing Dream. I was a little disappointed in her effort last time, but it really wasn't that bad. She came home in 26 seconds. I think she's still kind of getting acclimated to U.S. racing and the speeds of U.S. racing. And the 4, Majorca, who really had no chance last time. I mean, came home strong and really hasn't had any chance, and she's a closer. And for a closer, you need a little bit of a pace, and I'm hoping in a race which is pretty even as far as I'm concerned from top to bottom, maybe the pace will be a little bit quicker and give her something to run at here at 9-1 morning line.
Well, I mean, can we assume that at some point Racing Bell will be taking control of this race? Clearly, she loves the front end or close to the front end. I have to imagine maybe Jason Bartlett will be looking over, seeing how many horses leave and seeing how hard he has to move, or when he has to move. But I think I have to assume that she's going to be trying to take control of this race. Drama act, yeah. We saw how great she was in the Blue Chip Matchmaker, and she was in a 4-horse field at Yonkers and just totally gave it up in the stretch and finished 4th. Her last start was perfectly fine, coming from off the pace, and we see Yannick Gingras now gets the call, driving the Burke trainee. And it'll be interesting what tactics Yannick uses, but he obviously has options starting from this spot. And I just think the race is gonna, the way the flow of the race is gonna go, it's gonna work to her favor, potentially more from off the pace. I think she can grind or pounce off cover. She's as good a closer as she is on the front end, I think. And I'm going to take a stand and key her in my pick 4. I'm not in love with anybody else in the race, so I figure to make a very reasonably priced ticket, I'm going to take a stab and key her.
Well, credit to the race office to putting together a great invitational race, and as good as that one is, I think the race number 12, the Maxie Lee, which is what we're going to take a look at next, is perhaps even better. I mean, from top to bottom, this is just a really solid group of trotters. And the one thing I will say, and I think we talked about it a little bit before we came on the air here, there's almost no chance When Doves Cry is going to be a 5-2 morning line. No chance she's going to be the favorite here, right?
I don't think so. From the mare from the far outside post, we know she can blast. Good trotters, top-notch trotters, can generate the speed they need at any point during a race. I don't think Dave Miller's going to be content getting away last. But if he does try to blast with her, how hard used is she? And I think too hard. So I did not use her. I think 5-2 might be a little undervalued there. Probably go off 5-1, maybe something like that, which is a reasonable enough price if you like her. I did not use her. I looked more towards the center of the gate. My top pick would be the 4 Hill Exotic. I'm also going to use the 5 Amigo Volo. But Hill Exotic was a solid horse when Tron Sledgehammer had him. Recently moved a few starts ago to the Burke barn, and has gotten better. His last start at Yonkers, which was a complete blowout win. I know it wasn't the strongest field in the world, but that was an off track from the 8-hole, and he just completely dominated. And I think he's just come into this race the sharpest of the bunch here. Maybe has something to prove facing top-notch trotters here, but I clearly think he's up to the task. And Amigo Volo, he really needs no introduction. Coming off what I would say is a pretty scintillating qualifier with Dexter Dunn, and I am going to use him also. Will he be the favorite? Could be.
Yeah, it's a good question. Who's going to be the favorite here? I did use When Doves Cry because I thought she was sneaky good last time from the back. She finished with some good trot. Hill Exotic, I think, makes a ton of sense in this spot. Let's take a look at that qualifier from Amigo Volo. To me, it really comes off. You watch this effort, and it looks like a powerful effort. It looks really strong. He got over whatever physical issues, and he was doing really well at the end of last year and into this year. Is he going to come back? The British Crown winner he used to be.
Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, I assume the connections have to be pretty happy, or at least satisfied with that qualifier, and satisfied how he's going to be coming into this race. But again, there are a lot of question marks. But it's a perfect spot coming off the gate in the middle of the pack on a 5/8 track. Got to imagine that he'll try to be forwardly placed. But again, if he is taking heavy action, how short a price is going to go? If you're just betting the race straight up, I'm not talking obviously on a pick 4 ticket. because there will be probably a lot of spread action. But I just love the way Hill Exotic has looked. Like I said, he was good with Sledgehammer, and it's like I think he just elevated his game a little bit since moving to the Burke barn.
Well, just to touch on a couple of the others in here that are low on the morning line that obviously have a shot, I guess, is Back of the Neck. Number 3 is 3-1 on the morning line. To me, I looked and that qualifier was awful last time. I know he finished second by a head, but it just wasn't a good effort. The one race he put in wasn't very good. So to me, you're getting a driver change to Scott Zeron, which to me is even a more negative as far as wagering wise, because it's going to be a shorter price on the driver change angle. I'm not using it at all. And loved by the masses, you know, for my money, he's just a step below the top ones in the trotting ranks, and this race is probably a step below. So he clearly has a shot here, though the outside post, I don't think does him any good.
He is. He certainly likes to win 6 for 8 on the season, 7 for 8 on the board. He's another one could be. I would assume have to at least try to be forwardly placed. Eurobond's another kind of quirky trotter. He has some issues occasionally, but he's got a big. He's certainly got a big motor. Also, it wouldn't surprise me if he stepped up. The inside two maybe I think are a little bit light. Particularly Sermon, I think is going to be in line for maybe just a ground saving trip. Mississippi Storm is a solid overnight open class trotter. Wouldn't shock me if he won, but I won't be cashing if he won. And like I said, Back of the Neck, yeah, you have to like the driver change back to Scott Zeron, but again, it won't help the price. So I'm sticking with Hill Exotic. Can I get somewhere around the 5-1 that he's listed in the morning line? I would love that, to be honest with you. But I'm going 4-5 in my budget pick 4.
Race number 13 is the Commodore Barry, another $100,000 invitational on the pace, and a strong group here, quite frankly, led by the 2 Nicholas Beach, who was spectacular last time. And we're going to take a look at a replay here of Nicholas Beach. And what I want to show you in the beginning is you'll see driver Joe Bongiorno on the 6 is looking around. He looks over to the 5, looks over to the 7, kind of sees the 7 isn't leaving. I think he was probably a little surprised about that. The 7 is working on a mystery who's got the inside post. And I think this week you might see a little bit different tactics from working on the mystery. And we're following this up with Nicholas Beach, obviously blowing out a 47 mile. But keep in mind, it was 86 degrees outside when he blew out this mile. And when working on the mystery, winning 48-1 a couple of weeks back, it was 47 degrees. So putting those two in perspective, these two might not be as far apart as they seem time-wise over their last couple of starts.
They're certainly talent-wise, they're not that far apart. Like you mentioned, that was over a good track 2 back of working on the mystery with the track giving a 1 second time allowance. Yeah, they aren't far apart in terms of a chance here, in terms of talent, but I think they might end up being far apart in the wagering because I think everybody's going to jump on the Nicholas Beach and Joe and Jen Bongiorno bandwagon, and I expect him to be overbet off that race last week. Obviously, he can repeat the dominating effort. He's not going to go. If he goes 147, that'd be amazing, but. I think he's going to take a ton of the action. I think Joe Bongiorno is going to look to obviously take control of the race at some point. But does he get maybe too overconfident coming into this race off that great win last week? It's possible. And he's got a lot of talent that's going to be, he's going to have a target on his back with a lot of talent trying to chase him down. I did use him in my pick. I also used what's listed as a price on the morning line, the 7 Jack's Legend, just a quality import. We saw him in the Borgata pacing series when Josh Green was the trainer. Nifty Norman is now taking over the training. We saw what happened in the final when he just got baked up on the front end, but he had a solid showing in the Borgata and a couple of solid races recently in the Opens at the Meadowlands. I have to believe of all the horses outside of the 1 and 2, he's going to be the one potentially blasting and looking for a trip. And I think he can get that trip, to be honest with you. And I think he's more than capable of stalking and winning this race.
Well, you see Matt's ticket up on the board there. It's a $4 play. My ticket's quite a bit more expensive, but I can give you a way to knock it down as well. My ticket is an $18 play. And for me, I went 1 and 2 in the last leg. But you know what? If you want to spend less than $10, I'll cut that ticket in half and go $9 and take a shot that Working on a Mystery blasts out, tries to follow Nicholas Beach and gobbles him up late, because I think the value is going to be there with Working on a Mystery, where it's not going to be with Nicholas Beach. So it's an $18 play. Matt's a $4 play. We have free PPs on DRF Harness. We also have live video of the entire card, so you can watch all 15 races, Sire Stakes action. It should be a great day of racing. Post time's 12:40 p.m. Good luck.